What is your dominant language?
Spanish.
Do you think this country will ever become a bilingual country?
I think so.
There used to be a rule when you would walk onto the campus, you had to speak English. What do you think about that?
That's dumb. I don't believe in that. You know, whatever language you feel comfortable in, you should speak it.
Are California schools keeping up and doing enough for Spanish-speaking kids who come from areas and neighborhoods where Spanish is always spoken? Today in Los Angeles County, for example, 2 out of every 3 births are to Spanish-speaking parents. How are children who come from areas where English is rarely spoken going to become proficient in English and get a good education?
I was born in Los Angeles. I was raised in National City, California, which is in South San Diego. My first language was Spanish. I started school here in the U.S. and I picked up English very quickly. In the community I lived in, it was mostly Chicano, and most of the students did know Spanish, but most of us spoke English.
What is your dominant language, Spanish or English?
My dominant language is definitely English.
How come some kid, their dominant language continues to stay on even past high school to be Spanish and not English?
Well, I think from my experiences and friends that I have, I think the thing is that they live in a community that speaks Spanish only. They shop at stores where it's Spanish only. They go to schools where, you know, they're in ESL classes, and they stay in that system. They watch TV in Spanish. They listen to the radio in Spanish. So that's all they're all they're exposed to. So they have no exposure to the English language. They may learn it in the class, but they don't practice it outside of the class. So I think that is one of the main issues. And a lot of them, I think, just don't want to be part of the American culture. They just want to, they want to have their own little culture, their own little neighborhoods where it's just Spanish, and they don't want to, try something different because, a lot of them are, I think, embarrassed to practice their English because it's sometimes broken.
They used to have a rule in California that you had to speak English while you were at school. Should we go back to that rule?
I like the idea of encouraging students, but as far as forcing them, I don't agree with that, I guess. It's just something about, being told what language to speak, on your own time. That doesn't really sit well with me. So I think, again, strongly encourage them to speak English, but as far as forcing them and getting into trouble for not speaking English, I don't agree with that.